1. Hugging Face's Reachy Mini, the Seinfeld AI robot that does nothing, yet everyone loves. 2. Hugging Face's Reachy Mini, bringing open-source AI to life with cute robots. 1. Hugging Face's Reachy Mini, the Seinfeld AI robot that does nothing, yet everyone loves. Imagine a robot that doesn't do much at all, yet it's still incredibly captivating. That's exactly what Hugging Face's new programmable Reachy Mini bots are all about. Launched this week, these AI robots are open source, Raspberry Pi powered, and come equipped with cartoonish antennae and big, googly eyes. But here's where it gets controversial: they don't do much out of the box. And that's precisely the point. These robots are designed to be a blank canvas, ready for you to program and customize to your heart's content. But is this a clever marketing strategy or a gimmick? You decide. The Reachy Mini bots have already made a significant splash, pulling in a surprising $500,000 in sales within their first 24 hours. This success has sparked a lively discussion on TechCrunch's Equity podcast, where hosts Kirsten Korosek, Max Zeff, and Anthony Ha delve into the launch and its implications. They draw an interesting parallel, suggesting that Reachy Mini might be the Seinfeld of AI hardware. It might not do anything in particular, but it's still incredibly captivating. And this is the part most people miss. The true value of these robots lies in their potential for customization and innovation. But what do you think? Is this the future of AI hardware, or is it just a fancy paperweight? Listen to the full episode to hear more news from the week, including Grok's wild week and Linda Yaccarino's abrupt exit from X. How Rivian's micromobility spin-off, also, snagged another $200 million to build e-bikes, even though it hasn't launched a product yet. LangChain reportedly closing a new round that would push its valuation to $1 billion, thanks in part to a pivot toward monetizing its developer tools. Equity will be back next week, so stay tuned. Equity is TechCrunch's flagship podcast, produced by Teresa Loconsolo, and posts every Wednesday and Friday. Subscribe to us on Apple Podcasts, Overcast, Spotify, and all the casts. You also can follow Equity on X and Threads, at @EquityPod. Kirsten Korosek is a reporter and editor who has covered the future of transportation from EVs and autonomous vehicles to urban air mobility and in-car tech for more than a decade. She is currently the transportation editor at TechCrunch and co-host of TechCrunch's Equity podcast. She is also co-founder and co-host of the podcast, The Autonocast. She previously wrote for Fortune, The Verge, Bloomberg, MIT Technology Review, and CBS Interactive. Maxwell Zeff is a senior reporter at TechCrunch specializing in AI. Previously with Gizmodo, Bloomberg, and MSNBC, Zeff has covered the rise of AI and the Silicon Valley Bank crisis. He is based in San Francisco. When not reporting, he can be found hiking, biking, and exploring the Bay Area's food scene. Anthony Ha is TechCrunch's weekend editor. Previously, he worked as a tech reporter at Adweek, a senior editor at VentureBeat, a local government reporter at the Hollister Freelance, and vice president of content at a VC firm. He lives in New York City. Teresa Loconsolo is an audio producer at TechCrunch focusing on Equity, the network's flagship podcast. Before joining TechCrunch in 2022, she was one of two producers at a four-station conglomerate where she wrote, recorded, voiced, and edited content, and engineered live performances and interviews from guests like Lovely the Band. Teresa is based in New Jersey and holds a bachelor's degree in communication from Monmouth University. 2. Hugging Face's Reachy Mini, bringing open-source AI to life with cute robots. Are you ready to see how open-source AI might become more personable and playful than ever before? That's the promise behind Hugging Face's latest venture into robotics, a move that surprised many, yet has already sparked $1 million in early sales for its brand new Reachy Mini. This sudden success is no small feat for a company that built its reputation on providing open-source AI models to developers over the internet. But here's where it gets intriguing. Hugging Face wants you to bring those AI innovations right onto your desk, in the form of a lovable little robot. On a recent episode of TechCrunch's Equity podcast, https://techcrunch.com/podcast/equity, Hugging Face co-founder and chief scientist Thomas Wolfe opened up about the company's move into robotics. While other startups like Figure and 1X are eyeing household chores for human-sized robots, Hugging Face has a different vision. It envisions the Reachy Mini as a hackable entertainment device. Essentially, they want this friendly bot to fuel experimentation, learning, and maybe even a little mischief. At first glance, the Reachy Mini's design is quite captivating. It fits comfortably on most desks, sporting a head that tilts and bobs, two endearingly mismatched eyes, each with a camera hiding behind them, a pair of antenna-like robot ears, microphones, and speakers. Hugging Face plans to preload it with a few core apps, but the real fun is that you can create and run new apps locally, using open-source software. And this is where many people miss the bigger picture. The open-source nature means developers and enthusiasts alike can build and share custom features, sort of like an app store for robots. Wolfe described the Reachy Mini as a bit like an empty iPhone, suggesting the endless potential for a bustling ecosystem of user-generated applications. The internet has already taken notice, too. Since its launch, Reachy Mini has gone viral, a phenomenon probably aided by its approachable, cheerful appearance and a price point that puts it within reach of everyday consumers. The last thing Wolfe wants is for robots to remain expensive curiosities. He's aiming to break that barrier by introducing an approachable device you'd be happy to keep on your desk. Initially, even some tech observers were skeptical. Could such a small robot offer anything genuinely useful, especially when big players are focused on large-scale humanoid robots? But I've begun to see why Wolfe's vision might be a game-changer. If people can program or vibe code their own apps for these little companions, even children just starting out on their tech journeys, that could spark a whole new era of creativity and comfort with robotics. But here's where it gets controversial. Do we really want folks modifying their robots at will, possibly leading to unanticipated behaviors? Let us know in the comments if you think this open-source approach is brilliant or potentially risky. Wolfe also discussed Hugging Face's acquisition of French robotics startup Pollen, which fueled the engineering behind neat features like the Reachy Mini's expressive movements. Another goal of his is to keep the cost low so that robots don't feel like a far-off luxury. He firmly believes open-source AI in robotics can be as transformative as open source has been for traditional software development, and he's jockeying for Hugging Face to capture the momentum. Later in the Equity episode, Wolfe dug into other revealing details. How Hugging Face plans to expand from purely software-based products into hardware. The company's aspiration to someday build and sell a full-scale humanoid robot. Why privacy in consumer robotics matters, and how open source could actually enhance security by being more transparent. Equity, TechCrunch's flagship podcast, is produced by Teresa Loconsolo. New episodes come out on Wednesdays and Fridays, so you never have to wait long for the latest in tech and startup news. If you'd like to stay connected, you can subscribe to Equity on Apple Podcasts, https://itunes.apple.com/us/podcast/ID 12154397880, Overcast, https://overcast.fm/iTunes 12154397880 Spotify, https://open.spotify.com/show/5IOLIP3EDPPCOME5DMPHC question mark psi=IZDFHV2 SQUL_G9 4ICRGPQ or your favorite podcast platform. You can also follow Equity on X, https://twitter.com/equitypod, and Threads, https://www.threads.net@equitypod, by searching for @equitypod. In case you're wondering who's behind this coverage, Maxwell Zeff is a senior TechCrunch reporter focusing on AI. He's covered everything from the Silicon Valley bank crisis to the rise of AI, after stints at Gizmodo, Bloomberg, and MSNBC. Based in San Francisco, Maxwell can often be found exploring the Bay Area's trails and food spots when he's off the clock. Meanwhile, Teresa Loconsolo is the audio producer keeping Equity running smoothly. Before joining TechCrunch in 2022, she produced content for a 4-station radio conglomerate, lending her voice and editing expertise to a range of programming. She's based in New Jersey and graduated with a degree in communication from Monmouth University. So, here's a question to spark some debate. With a cute, hackable robot perched on your desk, do you see this as the future of AI at a personal level? Or do you worry about the privacy implications of having cameras and microphones so close to your daily life? We want to hear your take. Sound off in the comments with your support, concerns, or your own wild ideas for what open source robotics could become next.